Okay, so this is the video I've honestly looked forward to the least. We're going to be talking about Taylor Trammell, and it's just because I really like Taylor Trammell, and I don't like saying negative things about Taylor Trammell. There was some positives in Tacoma, and we'll get into those. We'll talk about the good, the bad, and we'll talk about one other thing that I really don't want to talk about, but we have to. But first, let's thank the good people of Simply Seattle. I like talking about them all the time, and I do, because Simply Seattle has the best in Seattle sports gear. Great stuff for the Mariners, the Seahawks, the Huskies, the Cougars, the Kraken, the Supersonics, Sounders, all sorts of great sports stuff for the hometown nine. You can find it there. Great shirts, great hoodies, great everything. It's all there at Simply Seattle. Once you find all that great stuff, just enter code MollyWhop15 at checkout, and you're going to save 15% off your order. MOLLYWHOP15. Thank you so much to Simply Seattle. All right, so before we get into Taylor Trammell, I wanted to address this real quick, and I hope it's the last time I have to do it. So, my video on what I would do, I mean, I knew there was going to be some negative feedback, but as I was recording and I was thinking, people aren't going to like this, people aren't going to like this, people aren't going to like this. That's fine. You know, it'd be boring if everybody just agreed with everything you said, right? Like, this is sports. This is not world diplomacy or anything like that. That I would love everyone to agree on. That we're all good to people. Everyone. That would be wonderful. But sports, I know there's disagreeable stuff. And, you know, that's totally fine that people disagreed with, like, especially in particular, my thoughts on the Juan Soto trade. That's fine. I'm asking you kindly to show more respect to me and more respect to the people in the comment section than some of you showed in that video. I was very disappointed. Because again, disagree with me all you want. Bring up facts, bring up the fact that I was, you know, willing to trade really good players that are under contract for a long time for a guy who's under contract for one more year. That's fine. Bring all that stuff up. Don't ever name call on my channel. Don't ever call anyone an idiot on my channel. Don't ever call anyone stupid on my channel. Just go away. If you disagree that vehemently, that's fine. Do it in a respectful manner or get the hell away from my channel. Okay. We clear? I know we are. I love all of you. But be nice next time. Not to me. Be mean to me if you have to. But don't ever go after my people. Thank you. Okay, so Taylor Trammell. Let's take a look at what he did in the year 2023. Let's hit pause because I didn't open them up. You know, you just gotta be better. So Taylor Trammell in his 56 at bats with the Seattle Mariners, that's over 22 games, hit 130 with a 286 on base percentage, a 326 slugging percentage, 3 homers. I believe he stole 1 base. No, he went 0 for 1. 612 OPS. That's really, really bad. I think that's an OPS plus of like, it's not listed here. It's bad. It's really bad. There's no denying that the overall numbers here for Taylor Trammell are gross at the major league level. Here's the good news. In Tacoma, and this is the most he's ever played in AAA, by the way, which I kind of found surprising just because while he's 26, he's been around for a while. In his 391 plate appearances with the Tacoma Rainiers, 390 on base percentage, 530 slugging percentage. That's 920, 17 home runs, 21 home runs, 17 stolen bases. Those are strong numbers. And yeah, he's been around for a while. He should be crushing AAA pitching. But it's encouraging to see. There's no denying that Taylor Trammell, even at the major league level, and in his time with the majors, he's been awful. 168, 270, 368. That's a 639 OPS. That's really bad. 116 game samples, so it's basically a rookie year of what he's done because he's gotten time in 2021, 2022, and 2023 with the Mariners. And the biggest culprit here is, man, he just swings and misses so dang much. A whiff percentage of 42.2, which means that over 2 out of 5 times that he's swinging, he's not making contact. That's atrocious. Struck out in nearly 40% of his at bats, 39.3. That's why you get an expected batting average of 165, which is higher than his batting average, but not good. Not good. Which it's one of those things where can you just cut the strikeouts to a playable level? Can you make enough contact to make these things matter? And by these things, I mean barreling the baseball 16.7% of the time. Good. Hard hit percentage of 45.8. Not great, but solid. Average exit velocity of 91.5. Very good. Walk rate of 16.1. Very good. Chase rate 17.8. Very good. But none of that really matters if you cannot make consistent contact in the strike zone or outside of the strike zone. Doesn't matter. You swing, you miss. And he's swinging and missing 42% of the time last year. Small sample, sure. But we've seen it too. Like, I'll just pull up the 2022 page right now. I guarantee you, whiff rate of 33.7. That's still awful. That's awful. You got to make contact more than 2 out of 3 times that you're swinging the bat. And he didn't come close to 2 out of 3 last time. Not even close. Small sample. And I thought there were just enough flashes last year to say, no, he's not the top 50 prospect I thought he was in 2020. More like 2019, but whatever. But he has a chance to be a usable Major League Baseball player. You know, the easy comp here, I think, is Jason Hayward, who strikes out a lot more. Probably not quite as good a defender, but a similar type of profile. Now, Jason Hayward at one point was the best prospect in baseball, and he looked like he was going to be a Hall of Famer. He's had some disappointing years, but carved out a pretty nice career. I still think Taylor Trammell can do that. Trammell can do that. It's just so natural to say Trammell. I'm sorry. Alan has ruined your last name for me, bud. But he's got to make more consistent contact. It's the most obvious point that you could make. And, you know, he struck out 104 times in his 391 plate appearances with Tacoma. That's not good, but it's workable, especially when you're drawing 63 walks like he did. 72 total walks on the year when you combine his time in the PCL and with Seattle. Not sure why Seattle came out saddle, but it is what it is. I'm going to be curious to see how aggressive Seattle is with keeping him on the roster. Because, you know, you saw them drop Mike Ford. And let's be honest, even with the ability for Trammell to play 3 positions, I don't think he's really a center fielder, but I think he's a solid left fielder and right fielder. Mike Ford helped you a heck of a lot more than Taylor Trammell did. I think Seattle still views Trammell as a guy who could be a long-term helper because he'd be gone by now at this point. You could justify it, I think, fairly easily based on his lack of success. And this is now 3 years of lack of success. The 2021, he got a third of a year, 180, 60. I got a little dot thing above 160, 256, 359. 615 OPS, a 687 OPS in 2022, a 612 OPS in 2023. This is not that small of a sample. It's not a large sample. And we have seen guys recover from samples like this before. We have. They usually don't end up stars. Heck, they don't even usually end up being above average regulars. A lot of times they don't even end up regulars. But it's pretty easy for me to see Taylor Trammell being a valuable 4th outfielder. You'd prefer a little better defense. He's a decent defensive player. It's not great, but he's a decent defensive player. He's not really a guy. If heaven forbid Julio Rodriguez had to miss time, you're not moving Taylor Trammell to center field. But in a pinch, he can play it, and he certainly can handle left field and right field. So, does Taylor Trammell make the roster next year to begin the year? I think he's going to be given a chance. I think he'll be given a chance, and I hope he succeeds because, like I mentioned earlier, I love Taylor Trammell. I don't know him personally. I don't know any Mariner personally. And I haven't spoken to him before. I've spoken to a few Mariners before. Everyone raves about this dude as a human being. Now, that only takes you so far in terms of being on a baseball roster, right? There are lots of nice guys who shouldn't be on rosters. But considering his prospect pedigree, that's such a weird one for me. Prospect pedigree. Considering that, considering the year he just had in Tacoma, which doesn't help the Mariners that much, but does show you the flashes of brilliance, and considering how great of a dude this guy is, I really hope he can carve out a nice little career. And if it's not for Seattle, I hope it's for somebody else. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. Thank you guys so much for your support. It means so much. I'm sorry about my little diatribe. Again, I don't care if you disagree with me. That is totally fine. I just ask that you guys be respectful in the comment section. Got some really bad disrespect on Twitter today. Somebody making fun of my hemangioma was not fun. That person already apologized, so let's not go after anyone or anything like that. But, you know, I just would like everybody to be nice to each other. And I'd really like Taylor Trammell to be a really good Major League Baseball player too. Talk soon.